Hey, there she is.
There she is.
Welcome to the Sapphic World Book Club.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, we've been
Happy
talking.
birthday.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday,
Thank
belated birthday.
you. Thank you. Thank you. 40 has been treating me pretty well this week, so I'm enjoying myself.
Are you doing
Awesome.
like a whole week of celebrations?
No, it sounds terrible, but I actually had to go to a funeral yesterday.
Oh, sorry.
So it's been an okay week as far as birthdays go. But I mean, I've been getting lots of sleep. I've actually gotten 8 hours of sleep for the most part this week, which is unusual for
Wow.
me. Wow. So I'm quite enjoying that fact. We'll see if I can
What's
keep
that
that next
like?
week. Yeah. You know, it's amazing. Like I get up and I'm just like, wow, is this what a Disney princess feels like? Because like things are singing to me and the sun is out. But yeah, it's we'll see. I don't think that's gonna hold as of next week. So I'm just gonna enjoy it
It's,
now.
yeah, just grab it. Grab this feeling, bottle it, and just
Yeah,
take it
right.
for your 40s because woo-hoo-hoo.
Because when I have to go climb up the stairs and my knee decides it wants to crack on me, then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
Unscrew
So
the bottle going, this was like 40 in the beginning.
yeah, I'll just let my kid remind me. He'll just be like, "Oh my gosh, you were born in the 19s." I'm just like, you know what?
Oh yeah, I saw a post like someone saying, "I was born before Google," and then the kids from now going, "You're ancient," and I'm like, "Well, I was born before the internet."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember we didn't have cell phones, and he's just like, "You didn't have a cell phone?" I was like, "Kid, I didn't get a cell phone until like senior year of high school, maybe."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "How did you talk to people?" And I'm just like, "In person, face to face."
In person, yeah, or just talk on like the family phone. Oh
Yeah,
God.
the landline. He doesn't know what that is. We've never had one since he was born in 2012, so
Oh yeah. Yeah.
wow.
I know that I have one. My son is 6 and my daughter is 9, and they just came out of the womb going
Yeah,
like that. I'm like, oh my Jesus. Okay.
yeah,
Anyways,
100%.
so we're actually here because you wrote a book.
I did.
It's
Yes.
a book club. Oh my God. So I'm so happy you could join us. We've been talking about the book, a little bit about the series as well, the Secret Crush Book Club, which is cool, a book club inside a book club inside a book club.
Yeah.
Um, um, can you tell us a little bit about your process? How did you write this specific book?
Yeah, so I always knew, like, even starting the series, that I wanted to write a series about sisters and kind of the trials and tribulations that come with having multiple siblings in a house, because that's kind of my experience. I have six sisters, so very true to life. And similar to these sisters, quite a few of us are queer. And so, once again, true to life, not all of us, but, enough for it to count, in my opinion. And so, yeah, when I was thinking about Danny as a character, I had an idea in my head that I wanted her to kind of have like this kind of coming out experience. And part of it is that like Danny and I are very similar in that like we're single parents, our kids are getting older. They don't necessarily need you as much anymore. In fact, sometimes they like push you out of the house and they're like, please stop paying attention to me. And she has two sisters who she kind of doted on, who really have their own lives going. And like even her dad is, at the recreation center and like kind of doing his own thing. And just that moment where, you hit a certain part of life and everyone is kind of moving in different directions. And now you have to like reinvent yourself and figure out like who you are and what you want. And how that just all like works together. But then I also was like, I wanted to make her queer. I wanted to make her have a moment where she, is kind of coming out a little later in life. I refuse to say late in life because she's only 30. That's not late, but it's later than maybe some people have figured out. Um, and so I actually had a conversation with my agent and my editor at the time, and I was just like, would it be weird if all three sisters were queer and both of them were just like, who cares? Like you've got, series with like five brothers and they all like, essentially date the same type of woman. Like make them all queer. It's your book. And I was like, you are right. It is my book. It's my world. I'll do it. Um, and so yeah, I had introduced Zoe somewhat in book one, and I knew that I wanted book three to be like kind of like book related, very almost like the dating myself, but like the chicken soup for the, the single mom soul kind of book series that they used to have. And so just kind of putting it all together with Zoe coming in and with Danny figuring out her life. And I was just like, yeah, I think this is how book three is gonna go. It's gonna be Danny's story. She's gonna be at that moment where she's trying to figure out what's next for her life. And she's gonna have a kid who very much is just like, yeah, you go, Ma, you do you. Um, and just kind of the hilarious situations that like even the siblings get into where she's figuring it out and they're just like, you have two gay sisters. How did you not know that you also liked women kind of situation? So
We were talking about that. It was hilarious. Like the just Vinny being on the phone and she didn't even know that Ava dialed her in. And he was having like an existential crisis, and then someone from a phone says, "Hi, don't worry."
yeah, that's not gonna lie, that comes from a real situation.
Oh, really?
I will say a lot of the situations between the sisters are very much like kind of come from my own life with my siblings, where, we just have these moments where even kind of not the same conversation of like, you have two gay sisters, how did you not know that you were queer? But just my sisters and I had a hilarious conversation where we were trying to figure out who came out first, and we all disagreed about who actually came out first. I think I came out first, but they tell me that the other ones came out first, and I think that's wrong. I'm like, you're 22. There's no way you came up before the rest of us. But yeah, a lot of the
So,
situations, the conversations are very like I took
can
some
you
of that.
adopt me?
Hmm? Can I adopt you?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, you know,
Yay!
why not
I
add another
always
sister
wanted to have
in there?
sisters. That's fun.
I always wanted to have a brother. We never got
Oh,
a
I'll take
brother.
mine with me then.
Okay, that's fine. That'll work. Yeah. I always wanted a brother. We had all sisters. So, but yeah, those conversations kind of um even if it's not obviously the same conversation, but kind of some of the similar themes or feelings in those conversations are very, very much true to life with me and my siblings. So
So did you like mix and match your actual siblings into the characters in these books?
a little bit, I think,
And
since I'm
who is you?
who is me? Honestly, it changes. It kind of depends on the situation. I think like, with most people, I think in many ways in some of the earlier books, I was more the Danny character where like Ava was very much concerned about Vinny and Jessica and Danny was just like, it's fine. They're fine. That's kind of my place in the family, being the middle sister. I'm just like, it's fine. They'll figure it out eventually. Like, I'm just gonna take a step back and observe. Um, but then in other situations, I probably am a little bit more Danny, where I'm just like, I don't know, what is this? Is this where I'm supposed to be in life at 30? And then my other siblings are just like, dude, it's fine. Like, chill out. But technically I am the middle sister, so like technically I'm Ava in the middle. But yeah, I kind of mix and match. I think my siblings and I all are very sarcastic anyway with one another in the way that you really can only be with like someone who's been around you for your entire life. But yeah, I kind of pick and choose with the situation, thinking about like what would, sister number two say in this situation. I think her reaction would probably be perfect. Or what would sister number six say in this situation? Because her reaction would just be like more like funnier on page kind of situation.
That's cute. Jamie?
Well, you have a wealth of sisters to choose from, being
I
that
do,
one of
yeah.
lots of grist for the mill when you're writing, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point I don't know how to write almost like characters that don't have siblings. I'm just like, what is that like? Is it quiet? Can you hear yourself think? So,
Are you busy wishing that you had siblings? I mean, that's what, we were talking
yeah.
about that a little while ago too in the book club part. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. A question from someone says, as a writer myself, process, overcoming blocks, editing, upcoming projects, etc. from Karen Hockmeyer was one of the questions we got in the sign up form.
Ooh, writing process. I've been told my writing process is weird. Um, I usually will write the ending of my book before I write anything else. And a lot of my other author friends are just like, you're strange. Um, these days, so my writing process has also changed. I've been writing since 2014, and back then I was like chaos. I would have an idea in my head, and I would just get in front of the computer, and it would just like vomit out of me, like just straight on the page. I cannot do that anymore. I don't know who that girl was. She's not me. So these days, I very much have like a synopsis and a detailed outline and a detailed series Bible and character profiles. But I also do a lot of dictation because sometimes my thoughts go faster than my fingers will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I usually will dictate probably a good maybe 50 to 60% of my book and then go back and like clean it up because when I'm dictating, I'm not using punctuation. So I think I showed a friend of mine what my dictation looked like, and it was just on my notes app on my phone, and it was just stream of consciousness. And she's just like, no, that would not work for me. Um, but yeah, I usually do a lot of dictation, a lot of work on the front end before I actually start writing.
So you actually
Um,
went from pantser to plotter, extreme plotter.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's like I went from one all the way to the like complete opposite of it. Um,
Is that because like in the first book you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna write. So you just write and then you go like, oh, now I have to write another one. Jeez.
yes, that's definitely part of it because I realized at one point I had a reader who reached out to me and they were like, "Oh, this character in the book is named this. Is it the same character from this book?" And I was just like, "No, wait, hold on. Did I name these characters the same?" And realized I did. And I was like, "Okay, this is not going to work because I don't think that's the same character." Um, but also part of it is because now that some of my series, some of my books are trad pub, um, they want you to have like a synopsis, especially if you're like presenting on proposal. They want to see a synopsis and sometimes like the first chapter of the book that you've written. And so that kind of that started me off with like making synopses and having it set up that way. Um, and since I need them, I was just like, I need to figure out how this works so I can kind of replicate that across different books when we're going out on proposal. But also because I do a lot of dictation, I do need to know where it's going in order to like get the words kind of flowing out of my brain and like from my lips and into the notes app on my phone. Um, and now I enjoy it because I can kind of build out my series a little bit easier and know the connections. But also so that I also have a Patreon, so I try to do like some different shorts on the Patreon and things like that. But in order to do that, I'm like, I need to know who these characters are and my secondary characters and my tertiary characters so I can see if there's something there that's enough for me to like pull out. So yeah, at this point I've definitely moved on to a kind of an extreme plotter situation going on now.
Was going to a trad publisher something that you had planned, or something that just happened, or what happened? What was the process of that?
It was always on my like I guess author bucket list to try to get traditionally published. Um, I had a 5-year plan for like getting ready for going out on and querying and subbing and things like that. And it just got moved up a little bit, back before Twitter did whatever it's doing now. I have no idea. Um, there were pitch events that were being run by different organizations, like We Need Diverse Books. They had Div Pit, which was one that I did, and there was another one called Pit Black, which was for like the Black diaspora. And so I did both of those. I had asked a few of my author friends, like, should I give it a go? Because I had the 710 split already written, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, if I wanted to release it myself or use that one to try to get traditionally published, and they were just like, you have nothing to lose by doing a pitch event.
Mm.
It's pretty low cost. You put your pitches out there and people either like them or they don't. Um, and so I was like, sure, why not? So I crafted a few pitches and it got some likes from agents and editors. And then I was like, well, all right, now I need to have a query package because I had never done one of those before. I wasn't expecting to get that far. But
Mhm.
yeah, actually from DivPit, my now agent and then editor, that's where both of them had liked my pitches. And so
Wow.
that's kind of how it started. So I think that was in June and I signed in October.
Wow, that's
Wow.
fast.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I had like was ready to settle in for the long haul, because you definitely hear of authors where it takes years and years to,
Hmm.
get signed or get a book deal. And I was very comfortable with if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. Like I love the indie book space. I still release books indie and I made sure when I was talking with my agent that that was something they're comfortable with because I have zero desire to like not publish indie. I'm very much of the mind that I'll write a queer book, and if a publisher doesn't want it, I don't care. I'll put it out myself. Um, and so, TradPub was on my goal, but it wasn't my only goal for
Hmm.
being an author and publishing. So it just happened a little faster than I thought it was going
Now the
to.
doors just opened and you were like, hey, okay, walk through
Yeah, I
it.
was like,
That's
hey, all right,
awesome.
well, let's do this.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
so far it's been enjoyable. I have a new editor at Afterglow Books, and she seems great. She's also queer. That was kind of one of my big things is I wanted an agent and an editor that were either queer or BIPOC themselves, or like had a very very clear like drive and I could see on the page that they were actually like walking the walk and not just paying lip service. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
That's
So
awesome. That's
turning,
important too.
yeah.
Let's see. I'm mindful of the time because let's get back to your books.
Yeah.
Is there one book that you, if you look back, that you would write differently now?
I think yes, and I actually did. So, the first two, I guess, like novella series that I wrote was Open Road 1 and 2.
Hmm.
Um, And those were kind of my start with writing queer romance, sapphic romance myself, and trying to like figure out what that even meant to me. I had just gotten divorced, and so I was similar to Danny, like trying to figure out my own stuff. And, doing that in a book was really great. But also when I read back through, I was just like, girl, no. No, 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 no. This is not how we're doing this. So I actually did pull those two books and went through them with another couple friends of mine, including Mika James, who you might know her from Love and Sports Ball. And I love it because she was one of my betas, and we've been friends for a while now. So she 100% will give me comments where she's just like, Carmen, absolutely not. And I appreciate that. But yeah, I went back through that book and I actually took out about 12,000 words where I was just like, this is not the business for a sapphic book. And I republished it and now it's Crossroads and I love it so much more now. Um,
Some.
yeah, I don't think that there are any books that I would necessarily change. I definitely have a couple in mind that I would like to expand because I think I introduced some characters that I would love to like actually tell more of their story. Um, but I think yeah, Open Road was the one that like sticks out that in my head I knew eventually I was gonna pull that and like completely revamp it. So
And you said you were getting divorced. Please tell me that your ex-husband is not an asshole like the one from Danny.
not exactly.
Okay, great.
No, no, he's fine. He's fine. But I mean, it is
Yeah,
what
no,
it
no, no. Okay.
is.
We were
But no,
just saying that there was one character we all hated in that book, and that was
yes,
Teddy.
yes. And
Yeah,
I will say that was by design. I think
yeah.
because Daniel, the Williams, patriarch, is such a great guy. And I very much modeled him after my dad. Um, I came out to my dad at one point and was like, Dad, I think I like women. And he's like, okay. Great. No teen pregnancy. Perfect. Moving on. Um, that was his only concern. Like he was very unconcerned about it. And for the most part, honestly, still very much, he's just like, listen, I'm old. You do what you're gonna do. Um, but I kind of wanted to, but because I definitely had some, kind of cinnamon roll male characters in there with their dad, and then with Aiden, who, is Vinny's best friend, who is just all comedic relief. And he is modeled after one of my good friends, who very much is very similar in a cinnamon roll kind of department. Um, I wanted another male character in there to kind of give the other side of things, because I'm just like, everyone can't be all great. Um,
Well, you
but
succeeded. He was not great.
I know. Funny story. My editor actually at one point was like, maybe we need to soften him at the like halfway point. And then she got to the end and she's like, never mind. No, we're gonna keep him like that. Keep him like that. So yeah, it's by design. And I quite enjoy like when people reach out and they're just like, oh my God, I hated that guy. And I was like, perfect. Succeeded.
Right. I have a question in the chat, Kaz,
Yeah,
from
go.
okay. From Star, are any of the love interests modeled after people you've dated, met in life, or are they all the ideal?
I think for the most part, all the ideal. I think a lot of authors will say the same thing that we do tend to kind of pull in some great traits from people that we know and love for different characters. Um, but yeah, I try not to pull in any of my like love interests too much. If I notice that some of my characters might resemble, and I'm just like, oh, how far are we in publication? Can I kind of like switch things up a little bit?
Mhm, mhm.
Um, but off the top of my head, I don't think so. Yeah.
And then Jordan, was there any, I know you said you're a single mom as well, but did you draw on things from your own experience? Or a lot of us loved Jordan, and I was calling him a little old soul, just like this little old soul that was just such sweetness that exuded from him, and his relationship with his sisters and his mom and his grandpa, and everything was just so sweet.
Yeah, he is definitely modeled after my kid. Especially some of the conversations um that they have. I think especially the conversations sort of towards the end where, Danny is talking to Jordan about, what if I like Zoe and everything. I had the conversation with my son because we're a pretty open household. My big thing is I would rather him ask me questions than to ask one of his friends a question and,
Or
get some.
Google.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, please don't ask ChatGPT. Please do not ask Google. Like, don't ask AI. Like, none of that. And my son does not have social media right now. I'm like, when you're 13, we will reevaluate, but you're not getting it right now." And he's only on mine, so I can tell when he's been on like my TikTok, because then I just start getting videos about soccer and people playing video games, which is totally fine. Um, but yeah, I definitely took a lot of inspiration from him. I'm also a former middle school teacher, so I took a lot of inspiration from like the students I used to have, and people ask me, especially with the 7-10 split, if those conversations with the students are accurate, and I'm like, absolutely 100% accurate. The high schoolers are very much concerned with what their teachers are doing. That's their reality TV in a sense.
Mhm.
And so yeah, Jordan was very much modeled after my son. He's sometimes he surprises me by being so observant, and then I wonder if I was that observant at 12. I don't think so. I think I was very much, Backstreet Boys in sync, oh my gosh, kind of fangirling situation. Um, but yeah, I do tend to pull some of especially some of the good aspects from people that I know in real life. Like I said, like Daniel is very much modeled after my dad, which is also why
Mhm.
when people are like, "We want a love story with Daniel," I'm just like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can do it. It'll have to be closed door because no, thank
Yeah,
you.
no,
Um,
beep.
can't do it. Love my dad.
I'll black
Don't
out. Yeah.
give me the book. Yeah, not like that. He might not have his own book, unfortunately. But yeah, like my kid is very observant, and it's kind of fun to also explore in the book like how Jordan kind of responds to some of the situations. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
If you could cast the whole series, for a TV series, who would you cast in the main roles?
oh man, I have no idea. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm usually watching anime. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm kind of a dork. I don't know. Well, okay, so there's the little boy, and I'm sure at this point he's not a little boy because I don't even think this show is on anymore. But from Blackish, he was like the son character, and he was just very observant as well, and like the mannerism and how he talks reminds me of my son and reminds me of how Jordan would be in the book. Oh man, let me think. I think at least, hmm. That's a great question. I've never thought about it. I think also too because I never really think if we'll ever get to I hope one day we'll get to the point of like maybe somebody reaching out, hello Netflix, or actually no, net Netflix because they cancel things too easily. Maybe Amazon Originals kind of
Hmm.
situation, reaching out. So I don't know. I'm just gonna throw out Megan Thee Stallion, put her in anything that has to do with me, and I'm like,
You're done.
sure,
Okay, good.
sure,
Let
you
her
know.
play all the roles. That's
Every
fine.
single role, every single role, throw her in and it's a good time for me.
Um, let's be mindful of the time a little bit. Jamie, do you have one more question?
I've got a bunch on our list. Let's see, which Sapphic author inspires you?
Mm, okay. I love Fiona Zeddy. Stud like her. I 100% love Ashley Herring Blake. I started with Delia Green Doesn't Care, and I love the fact that she actually is from Nashville, or at least she lived in Nashville. We like missed each other completely. Because when the 710 Split came out, and then I came to Parnassus, and they're like, "Oh, have you read Ashley Herring Blake?" And I was like, "I love her books." And they're like, "Yeah, she used to work here." It's like, "What do you mean used to?" I completely missed. I think she left like a month or two before I went I was just like, man, that was a whole
Wow.
missed opportunity. So yeah, those are like my two favorite. I'm gonna be biased. I love Love and Sports Ball partly because I was the beta for that, and partly because Mika James is like a really good friend of mine. So
Hmm.
I
All
always,
fine.
yeah, love her books. Um, oh my gosh, I wish I had my bookshelf because I have a whole bookshelf. And now, of course, now that I'm on the spot, I can't remember.
That's always. If people ask me what's your favorite book, I'm like,
Yeah.
don't make me choose.
Right. Like
But
I
mine.
don't know. I think for one that I really loved, and it's still one of my favorite books, is actually a YA book, which kind of surprises people since I do, pretty much just write adult. But I really loved I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast Was Me by Jamison Shea. It's YA and it is the character Sapphic. I don't necessarily like say the book itself is Sapphic, but the character is very out Sapphic. But I connected with it because it's very much female rage, justifiable female rage, and the character is guilt-free about acting on the female rage. And I was like, that is what I needed for 2023, and actually that's what I need for 2025. I'm not even gonna lie. So
Yeah,
We
so
all
that was
we all need to read that, I think.
It's a really, really good book. It's a really, really good book. It's still one of my favorites. And like I said, I'm not big into reading a lot of YA books, but that one got me. I think for we read that for our internal book club, and hands down, it was everyone's favorite book for
Oh
that year.
wow. Okay. Well, make a note. Okay, absolute last question. If you were stuck on a desert island, which one of your characters would you want to be with you?
Oh, Vinny. She's way more capable than I think I will ever be. So
So logical.
yeah, 100% Vinny. I feel like she would be the main one who's like, come on, we're gonna grab like these tree branches, and then 5 minutes later, there's a whole like,
Like a
lumberjack
yacht.
hut, yacht, boat situation going on, and she knows how to like actually make an engine out of banana leaves or something. So 100% Vinny. It'd be great. I'd just be there like, I'm the crafty queer, so I will just paint it really pretty, and like that's it.
it's awesome.
That is cute. Um, where can we find you? on Insta? What's your next project? What can we expect from you?
Yeah, so my next project that is in the Peach Blossom world is not named yet. It's being worked on right now.
Hmm.
It's bringing back two characters that people really enjoyed. It's tentatively scheduled to come out fall 2026. And I know that they're working on the cover right now because they've been sending me lots of emails that I'm like, oh, I should probably know the answer to these. Um, but yes, so there will be another book. There'll be another two books in the Peach Blossom series.
Oh,
Um, and then what I'm working on
With
next
who? With which characters?
I
is
know.
secret.
I knew you were going to say that.
Secret. It's so
Oh,
the next book is two characters that have already been introduced, and the book after that is two characters that have not yet been introduced.
but will be introduced in the fourth one.
Yes.
Sneaky. Damn.
Yeah.
On the heels of that, one quick question. We were having a discussion in the book club about wanting more, of course, like who some don't like epilogues and some do,
Mhm.
or like novellas, because I was bringing it up in terms of, so then what,
Yeah.
Zoe, Danny, and Jordan, and they were in the kitchen, and then I was like, is there going to be a novella? Do you ever do like novellas, or is they're just woven? Now that I know there's a couple more books in the series, are you going
Mhm.
to weave in throughout the other books?
Yeah, it's hard, especially since these are traditionally published and I'm kind of limited in like what I can and can't do like on my own. I would love to do a couple of novellas of like where are they now situations because I love those. I love, when like TV series do a follow-up of like you met them a year ago. Here's where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do actually in my lovely series Bible like have a further along like where are they now kind of situation for all of the characters. Um, you'll hear a little bit about Vinny in book four. She comes in a little bit, and you will hear a little bit about Ava and Grace in book four because they come in a little bit. This might kind of give you an idea potentially of who one of the characters is in book four. Danny, you won't really hear about in book four. Um, you might hear a little bit about Danny in book five, about Danny and Zoe in book five. But I would love to do a couple more novellas of just like, 5 years later, like what's going on with the Williams clan. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's one of those things where like I have to throw out the idea and then like see if the publisher is interested in it or if it's something that they'll let me do on my own. Since like I said, I'm very happy and open to doing this independently. Um, but yeah, I do love epilogues. I actually don't write them all that much because it's kind of like some people like them and some people don't. Some of the people are just like, well, why didn't you put this in the main book? Why is this an epilogue? And so, yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, I want to. I really do want to have them in there. And hopefully, I don't have plans to stop at book five. I would like to continue building out Peach Blossom with more characters and have some of the characters that we love like come back. But yeah, it's one of those things with traditional publishing that it's just kind of at the discretion of the publisher. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if they, you propose and if they like it, great. If they don't, then it might be dead in the water, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I know.
Hmm.
That was my big
One of those
question.
like if they don't want it, then I might just have to like, I don't know, do a series of Instagram or thread posts of just like, here's what I wanted to do. And they said no, but you guys can get it for free because they missed out.
So, I know I said last question, but I've got enough. Do you have a little bit more time?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Peach Blossom. What inspired that town? Because can we move there?
Yes. Once I win the lottery, everyone is invited. I'm just buying like a bunch of land and just, um, yeah, I have lived in quite a few places, including overseas. I was in Tokyo for a while. I was in Seoul for a while. Those cities are great, but like there's so many people and I can't hear myself think. I love small towns. I just don't like small town attitudes. And I'm from the South. I'm originally from Tennessee. I live in Georgia now. And unfortunately, when we get to a lot of small towns, they are not inclusive, they are not progressive, and in fact, they're, downright scary and places I wouldn't be when the sun goes down. Um, but I've always wanted to live in a small town. I love like the camaraderie, and I think part of that is because I grew up in such a large family. Like I said, I have six sisters. My dad has 11 brothers and sisters. My mom has five siblings. I've got, countless cousins and aunts, and like that feeling of community is delightful, but also so much shenanigans can go down in a large family, aka a small town. And so I find them fascinating. I find them fun, and I love that dynamic. But I also am very much queer and very much want to be in a queer, progressive, inclusive space. I'm not particularly religious either, even though like some of my sayings are very much rooted in like Southern Christian culture, but that's what my grandmother said. So that's just kind of like what I say. Um, and so I couldn't find one to move to, so I just decided I was going to make one. And, I'm going to plop all of my favorite kind of, archetypal characters in there and put them together like a Sims world and like play around with them and see what happens. And so, yeah, I really wanted a queer friendly and really queer normative because homophobia is really not going to be in Peach Blossom. It might pop up here and there in a book about somewhere else, but it won't pop up in Peach Blossom. I refuse.
Let's just manifest that. Let's just
Yeah.
all think we're living there, and then it will be.
Yes, yes. Like I said, once I win the lottery, which, I should probably play the lottery in order to try to
Yeah.
win it.
Mm.
Like that's my goal in life is to like buy a small town and it's just like as long as you're inclusive, you're welcome. Here's a plot of land, go build a house, like build a bookstore, build a coffee shop and just live and let live. So that's my desire. So, once I get Bezos level, I'll totally like put out an all call on Instagram. You guys more than
Yeah.
welcome.
Put me on the mailing list. Put me on the
Yeah.
mailing list. I'll
Yes,
move.
I'll get a mailing list and like here's your plot of land. It'll very much be like an Oprah situation of like here's your land and
Here's
your
your
house
land.
and like doing it that way. So,
That's
but
cute.
yeah, that was one thing I want. I very much Peach Blossom will not have homophobia in it.
Yay.
Yes.
The best. The best town. So where can we find you if we want to follow you and see your social media website?
Yeah, so I have a website. It's karmenlee.com. I also am on Facebook sometimes, mostly because I think a lot of book events, they usually do things on Facebook because it's easier to gather people. So Facebook, I believe it's author Karmen Lee. And then Instagram and Threads, it's at author Karmen Lee as well. And then, like I said, I am on Patreon. I do have some Patreon exclusive serials and short stories and things that I put out. And I believe you can look me up just using Karmen Lee or author Karmen Lee on Patreon as well. Technically, I have a Twitter, mostly because I don't know the password anymore, so I can't delete it. And then I'm on TikTok as author Karmen Lee. And that one, I do occasionally do TikTok lives at night when I'm doing like writing sprints. So,
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Well, Jamie, you have something more to add?
No, I said that was really cool. The TikTok lives.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When you're doing writing
yeah.
It
sprints,
was
that's
cool.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say those tend to be really late at night. I'm 100% not a morning person. I am that night person who, like, if we're friends, my friends yell at me all the time because they're like, "Why did you send me a TikTok at 3:15 in the morning?" I'm like, "Ah, I was just going to
Mhm.
bed and I thought of you, so I sent you a TikTok."
It's love. It's just love. Well, I'm in Europe, so for me that will be like decent. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, it'd be depending where, I guess what, 5 or 6 hours
Yeah.
ahead in the morning. So yeah, that's me. I usually will get on at like maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and then I just write until I'm exhausted. So
Cool.
Well, it seems to be working, so keep doing it.
Thank you. As long as, I'm now that I'm on the fourth floor of age, as my friend says, hitting the 40s, we'll see how long my body allows me to continue doing that, or if I have to
You're
pivot.
just 40. So you'll have a couple more years.
I hope. I
A
hope.
couple, a couple. Not many
A
more.
couple, not many. So yeah, so
Couple.
get it all in now
Yeah,
because I
do
need
it now.
it
Yeah. Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for joining us at the Sapphic Book Club. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us.
I did. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carmen.
Great. Thank you everyone for being here and talking with us in the book club and sending questions in the chat and stuff. So thank you very much. Let's see, next book club will be for Nan Campbell. And that will be on the, Jamie, help me out, 14th of
December
December?
14th, I think we decided. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's about her new release, what they do in the movies. So that will be it. Watch our socials and you can see everything that will happen around that. Thank you again, Carmen, and I hope you have a great day, everyone.